So welcome back to Sprague Homestead. Today we have a little bit of a rant, but we also have some advice for you. This time of year for homesteading is one of the better times. What you're going to start seeing is that chicks are available, kids, calves, everything else is out there. You're going to see a lot of buying and selling ads of all types on all social media and websites everywhere. So one of the things that we really loathe about homesteading is having to sell to people that are uninformed about what they're buying and what the market is.
So one of the things we see pretty much from the buying and the selling perspective is unreasonable expectations. Either people who think their stock is worth more than it is, or that people who have a whole list of things they want in terms of attributes and criteria, but maybe don't want to pay for it.
So what we want to do today is to give you guys the proper etiquette of what you should be doing from a selling standpoint and a buying standpoint. So let's start with selling. As a seller, one of the things you should be looking for is a good buyer. In order to do that, to attract good potential buyers, you really need to know what you're selling and then have it priced what the market is for the time of year and what year it is. Now, ads should be very clear with good pictures. You should list a price, whether you're negotiable on that price, and if you're interested in trades, and if you are, what you're interested in trading for.
Okay, and so by those things that Caden's talking about, that means actually knowing the name of what the breed that you're selling is and spelling it correctly. This seems like a small thing, but I know as a buyer personally, if you've got, say, a barred rock chicken and it's misspelled, I'm thinking you don't really know what you're doing. The same goes for barred rocks, or not for barred rocks, but for boar goats and for a number of other things. It takes 2 seconds to Google it and find out how to spell it correctly, and it makes you look like a knowledgeable seller. When it comes to the pricing, nothing is more irritating from a buyer's perspective than seeing an ad that says, for sale, $1, contact me for a price. It's a waste of my time, and quite frankly, if you're the seller, it's a waste of your time. You don't want people, if you've got a $200 pedigreed goat, you really don't want to waste time with people who don't want to give you but $25 to $50. If there are options like weathered or intact, disbudded, not disbudded, I understand that. Go ahead and list yourself a price range. What this will do is it's going to eliminate some of those tire kickers that really aren't looking to spend as much as you are hoping to get.
Now, concerning being a buyer, a lot of times an informed buyer really is a lot easier to deal with. And being somebody that buys and sells multiple things, I guess knowing what I'm looking for or kind of having a really good idea gives me a pretty easy process, really, because I know what I'm looking for. I can start scanning through classifieds going, not a good ad, probably not a good deal. Good ad, that's what I'm looking for. Also, like Nikki said, spelling is so small, yet it really kind of turns me off personally. If you cannot spell anything, I really probably am not going to contact you. And if I am, I'm going to be a bad seller, and I'm going to start shortcutting you and start changing you, trying to irritate you into giving me something for nothing.
So as a good buyer, especially when we're talking about livestock, know what you're looking for. If the ad says it's a blue laced red Wyandotte, hit Google, of all places, and get a picture of what these things look like. I saw an ad recently on a homesteading classified group where the lady was trying to sell a Wyandotte. Didn't say what color Wyandotte, and this thing had the most huge and majestic comb I have ever seen in my life. If you know anything about Wyandottes, you know that they don't have the big, tall, stand-up comb. Several people went on and tried to educate this woman as to, a quick search of Google, and it was obviously a Welsummer, which is a good breed. Lots of people like them. But instead of being open to criticism, she got mad, deleted all of our comments, and told us we didn't know what we were talking about. So as a buyer, make sure you know what you're looking for. Now, we've talked about this before on another video, where I responded and went to go look at some goats on an ad that was listed for kinders. I'd been looking for kinders for a number of years. I know, having done the research, they're a breed that's going to run about 90 to 110 pounds. So when I got out of the car and these adorable little 35-pound goats ran at me, I knew from having Nigerian dwarfs what the guy had. Because he had them mislabeled, I did get a better price on them, and they were still something I was willing to bring home. But had I not known, I might have spent a lot of money on kinder goats that weren't even close.
So now that we've kind of given you some criteria on what it's like to be a good buyer and a good seller, a lot of people are going to ask, where should I start looking for livestock?
There's a number of good places to go. If you've got a local feed store, like we've got a Grange Co-op and a Coastal, both of which, by the restrooms, usually have a big sale board. Just, you go in there, write a date on your ad, and you can stick it up there. You find a lot of good livestock there, especially older farmers that don't do the social media, that maybe don't like, Craigslist and the like. So it's a good resource for maybe the 70-year-old guy who's got a good deal on cows or pigs. So you may want to look there. Craigslist is a love-hate relationship as far as I'm concerned. Craigslist can be really good, but it's also full of a lot of people who don't know what they're doing. So if you educate yourself, like we were saying, before you go on to Craigslist, you can get some good stock. There are a number of Facebook groups now. Of course, Facebook is funny about selling animals, so you got to really look for a group that's geared towards that. Here in Oregon, we have Oregon Homestead Classifieds. There's a Klamath Falls group, since we are down here in the Klamath County area, that does livestock sales and trades. Those are all good places to go, good places to look. And, if you've got a nickel ad, you still get classified, like true paper classifieds. Again, this is a place to look for the older farmer that maybe is not internet savvy. Will still put stuff in the nickel ads. Or if you're on the West Coast, you can get a Capital Press. They do a lot of ads in there. So these are all good places to look for your ads. And don't be afraid to Google, and if you know what you're looking for, like if you want Harlequin rabbits or model Java chickens, go ahead and Google and see if you've got a farm. I get a number of people every year who find us through our farm site or through our farm Facebook that contact us because we're very specific in our listing about what we offer. So the last thing we're going to say when it comes to buying and selling is, especially on the buyer's end of things, be respectful of your farmer. If somebody is putting something out for $10, $12, $15, especially, for instance, we do turkey poults. I raise heritage turkeys in some very rare colors, blue, chocolate, and we do Narragansett, which isn't real common here. There is nothing more irritating from a seller's perspective than somebody responding to my ad and offering me $8 because that's what the feed store is selling. If you want an $8 turkey from the feed store, by all means, go do that. But to me, as a farmer who has invested the time and money into adequate housing, good breeding stock, high quality feed, and good quality of care, it's insulting to me for you to contact me and offer me $8. Trust me, when I sell those poults for $12 and $15, we are barely breaking even on feed. We don't make a lot of money for the farm. It's about continuing to do what we love. This goes the same for rabbits. I see it a lot where people come on and they say, I want proven breeders in one of these rabbit breeds and I'm going to give $10 a rabbit. It's insulting. You may find somebody that's willing to do that, but I guarantee you're not going to get a quality animal. To get a rabbit that's all the way up to 6 and 9 months and plus been a proven breeder, you should be looking at least $30 a rabbit, at least. And that's without a pedigree. If you're going to want something pedigree that's breeding stock, you should expect to pay $50 or more. If you're paying less than that or offering less, quite frankly, you look like a jerk. I mean, you really do. We see it in everything. Every year I put mixed breed baby goats up for sale for $80. This is less than what I have into them, and it never fails that somebody wants them for $50. I've even had offers as low as 25. So be respectful of your farmer. If you're homesteading, I understand that you're trying to do everything on a budget. We all are trying to save money. But if you want quality stock, be prepared to pay for quality stock. And put yourself on the other end of that ad. Think about what it's cost that farmer to raise that goat, that chicken, that turkey, that cow, and see how you would feel if they had it listed for $1,000 and somebody came up to you and offered you $600. It's insulting and it's a waste of your time. And quite frankly, one of the bigger reasons we see a lot of homesteaders give up. If they can't get the fair market price, what is the point in continuing?
So I warned you, this was going to be a rant video with some advice, and I promise you it's been that. So we'll conclude today with just remember, we're all in this together, so we've got to take care of each other as homesteaders and farmers. We've all got to make this work. So that's it from Sprague Homestead today. Remember, buying and selling is a joy of homesteading, not a requirement. So let's all stick together on it. We'll see you next time.